Welcome, everyone. I am so excited for today's interview. My name is Chris Ann. I am the author of the Light Seers Tarot, as well as other card decks, and I am the guest interviewer today here. And, well, I get to interview someone who I am a huge fan of. Her name is Diana Cooper. Many of you will know so much already about Diana. She is a renowned author. She is a spiritual teacher, a leader of so many. She has a brilliant vision for the future for us that she's going to share. She has written over 30 books. She's a best-selling author. She's founded the Diana Cooper School of Angels. There's just so much. There's a full legacy and a full lifetime of amazing spiritual work. And I'm so excited to have you here with us today, Diana. Welcome.
Thank you. It's lovely to be here.
Oh, and so today we're going to talk about your latest oracle deck called the Golden Future. It's a beautiful deck. I have had a chance to play with it for the last few weeks, and I've kind of jumped in, and it goes along with an amazing book that you also wrote, also of the same title, called The Golden Future. Now, before we get into the deck, I would love for you to share with us a little bit of the vision that you hold for us for the golden future.
Well, people say, oh, what a dreadful world we live in, how awful for our children and grandchildren. And I say, absolutely not. We are moving into a fantastic golden future. 2012 marked the end of the 260,000-year period of Atlantis. And so we have the 20-year period to move into the new and amazing and awesome golden future. And there's only 8 years to go, and already people everywhere are saying they can feel the frequency rising. Now, everybody that's here now has incarnated to help with this shift into the golden future, which is a double-dimensional shift from the third dimension to the fifth dimension. And so all of those in service are really adding to their energy and raising the frequency, which is why everything old is collapsing. So we're looking at all this stuff going on and saying, but I thought we were heading for a golden future. We are, but we have to let the old collapse before we can build the new. And so that's what we can see around us now. But the new has now started to be built. So we see the old hospitals, and the old allopathic medicine, and that was okay for the third dimensional old age. Mainly the hospitals were built to pamper the egos of the politicians. Same as the huge schools, which were not there to serve children, they were there to serve the egos. All of that is collapsing. It's actually wonderful the way that children themselves are saying, we don't want to go to these schools. And there's a huge movement all over the world of children saying, no, this isn't right. Helping us to collapse the old, ready for the new. So basically, the old banking system is collapsing. By 2019, that will have been swept away. And so that will then leave us 3 years before we have the total collapse of the structure, the old.
By 2029. By 2029?
Oh, I meant 2029. Sorry.
Yes.
Math's not very good. It's a good job you're on alert, isn't it? Okay. I thought when I said it, there was something wrong. Anyway, so the banks will all be closed by then, by 2019. 2029, I've got that in my head now. 2029. And so then we've got the 3 years before the rising tide of consciousness will sweep away the old structure completely. And then the new can start to come in. People say, well, what do I do with my money? 2032, money will no longer have any relevance. It will be gone. There will not be any. But until then, people need to know what's happening on the planet. So the old banking system will be replaced by local currencies. Everything is moving towards local. So local currencies. Now, some cryptos are going to do okay and some are not. So that's interesting. Land will be fine. Housing worldwide is not a good thing to invest in right now because there's so many factors. One of them being that the population will be reducing because the new children, the new people, they need more space, more land, more greenery around. I see you making a little note there. You can ask me about the population. That's okay. Ask away. Do you want to ask me now?
I'm just fascinated by the way you see the future, because it does feel, as someone who is getting acquainted with your books and your work, it feels a little bit unsettling at the moment, but you also bring us through to this beautiful new way of visioning and seeing and being able to imagine the future, which is really just so beautiful.
I think one of the problems is that we see the collapse, but in fact, the future is so amazing because the consciousness has shifted. We are tending to look at it with the old eyes, but as the consciousness of the entire planet becomes fifth dimensional, extraordinary things happen. So when the consciousness is fifth dimensional, whether you're an individual or the planet, you then attract abundance, and it comes in forms that we can't currently comprehend. But one of the things that happens is that as we send out that energy of abundance, new spiritual technology comes in, so that we then have free eco power. When we have free eco power, it gives us more space, but it also helps to clear the pollution. And that means that everyone is healthier. So there's a whole cycle that's going round, making everything shift to a higher level. Now, the Earth Star chakra is then coming in. When you're fifth dimensional, of course, your Earth Star chakra below your feet is fully in. When that's in, then you get the urge to move to where you feel belonging. Not only that, your soul family starts to get the same urge. And this is how communities naturally are forming for the future. People are coming together to live with their soul families. Now, the navel chakra is opening up, and it's always been fifth dimensional, the navel chakra, but it's now opening. And as more and more people work with a fully open navel chakra, they want fairness, they want equality, they understand the oneness. When that happens, people aren't prepared to have poor people in Bangladesh working for a pittance while people are very rich over here. They want everyone to share the abundance that's coming in for the entire planet. So there'll be equality and, more important, fairness. And everybody in that rising consciousness will want that. As soon as the sacral chakra starts to purify, then people want relationships that are based on love. So the navel chakra has drawn soul families together to live together. And as they then open their hearts even more, then they are telepathically and spiritually attuned to each other. Everybody is then connected. As the frequency rises and people become fifth dimensional, then they are becoming much more psychic. So not only just spiritual, but they are very aware of people's auras. Now, when you know somebody is showing you everything, you know if they're being honest or dishonest. So as soon as you see that, everybody is honest. Because if you know somebody knows you're telling a lie, you tell the truth. And so everything is based on honesty and love and soul connection and fairness and equality. And this moves us into living together in harmony. And after 2032, for the first time in thousands and thousands of years, there will be world peace. As soon as there's world peace and international cooperation, we send out energy. Planet Earth sends out energy from an ascended perspective, and we receive so much more. And then we say, but we can't even conceive of it now. Again and again, when I was writing the book, they would tell me something and then say, but actually it's beyond your current comprehension. Already this year, which we were told would start to happen, we are accessing planets that we couldn't access before. In October last year, I did an event that went worldwide, and 100,000 people merged with their monads. Now, that is the part of you beyond your soul. I know you know, but just in case anybody doesn't know. So it's the highest aspect of you. And that shifted the frequency, not only of those people, but many around, because many since then have then connected with that energy. That established various things. Andromeda is the higher heart of the universe, and that brings in love, peace, and wisdom at a very high frequency. It allows the codes of rejuvenation to come in. That was established. But in January of this year, you were then allowed to access and activate those energies. And it was the same with Helios, the great central sun. We established that on the planet and into individuals in October last year. In January of this year, the energies of Helios are coming in so that people can start to regenerate. There's a massive shift taking place for everyone. Earlier this year, I had an experience with Pluto, almost unbelievable. As I'm sure you know, Pluto has just come in and is now in Aquarius and is looking at, working on the planet. And so my guide told me that I was to tune in to Pluto and bring the light codes from there into my body. I did this for about a week or two, and then I had the most amazing, awesome dream. Well, it wasn't a dream. There was this surgeon dressed in surgeon's outfit with a surgeon's operating hat on, and he was looking at me. I could have touched him in front of me. And when I came to, I asked my guide, well, was he giving me psychic surgery or something? He said, oh no, that was a 10th dimensional medical master. He was giving you a full body cellular upgrade. And that was the Pluto energy making that available. Now we can go to Pluto and receive that energy. And so I'm starting now to add that into the teachings that I'm doing so that people can go there and receive it. And then the latest information, which is all based on us asking El Moira to help bring in the codes of the Manu. He is bringing in the codes of the 5th dimensional human of the golden future with 12 strands of DNA intact. And every day as people go, more and more people are asking him every day to bring that energy into them. And this is enabling all these higher energies to come in. And so we can now start to access them. A few days after the medical master came in, it was in the middle of the day, I sat on the sofa and suddenly I was propelled to Pluto. This only lasted a minute or two. I was taken into the first chamber, and it was the brightest light I've ever seen in my life. And it was Raphael, Mary, Jophiel, and the Christ light. And they said, you're to bring people here for a full body cellular upgrade. The team of 10th dimensional medical masters will be waiting here. So all of these are shifts that are taking place that are allowing us to move into the golden future, to bring in a higher frequency cellular energy, to clear the cells and allow that to happen. And this is what's allowing the most amazing spiritual energies to come in for the golden future, where we live in a community where everybody is doing what gives them soul satisfaction. People aren't going out to work. at the fifth dimension, you only do what your soul wants to do, what gives you soul satisfaction. There will be much more artistic work, much more creative work. People will do what they love to do. There will be more sports. But this is what I think is so fabulous. At the moment, if you go out and there's a group of people playing football, 10 to 1, you'll think, oh, I can't join in, I'm not good enough, they won't want me, all of that sort of thing. The consciousness of the future says that I have total confidence I'm loved, wanted, and welcomed. And you automatically know that you're welcome to join any group or any person. And those people have their hearts fully open to you. So everybody feels welcome, belonging in a way that isn't happening right now. And of course, things like cars. In the fifth dimensional consciousness of the golden future, if you want something, you send out the thought and it comes to you. You attract it. So you want to visit somewhere. You send out a thought and you open your front door and there's a car waiting to take you. You've drawn it in immediately. I mean, it's amazing and awesome. And I think in my life now, I'm seeing it starting to happen more and more. You're the same. I'm so pleased to hear. I hear people telling me.
Yes. Manifesting seems to have really sped up in the last year, I've noticed.
Absolutely has. It really, really has. It's quite astonishing what a difference is taking place. Well, how we are going out into the universe and drawing these things. We have so much help now coming to us. I mean, every day I go to the Intergalactic Council and ask for various things for Earth. And on some occasions, recently I asked if we could have the pure white flame of Atlantis over the planet, because that's the most pure form of healing. And that's a Serapis Bay carries that. But when I asked the Intergalactic Council, they couldn't say yes straight away because they had to consult the councils of all the other planets because it was going to affect the entire universe. And then that was granted. And now they say bring it in every day for 10,000 miles around Earth to clear the energies around Earth. And so a world with no money, where everybody is exchanging or giving away, no insurance companies, mutual support by everybody for everybody else, schools or education systems which are right for the children, where the children are treated as individuals. And bear in mind that the children coming in have already, the new babies, they've all got their 12 strands of DNA fully intact, but they haven't all got them activated because sometimes their surroundings are not high frequency enough for them to activate them. But of course, as we move into the next few years, they will be activated. And some of these children have the most awesome powers. And everybody that's on that pathway will start to have those powers. It'll be quite normal and natural for you to be in the kitchen and you want something and you just apport it to you. That would just be a natural, normal, accepted thing to happen. If you want to know what's happening to your children, you send them a telepathic message. Our crystalline brains and crystalline bodies are being worked on right now, ready for the golden future. You send a message to your child and they send you back a video direct into your third eye of what they're doing. They're climbing a tree with their friends. You can see it. It's instant. Mm-hmm. And so you never have worry. You communicate on that very high frequency with everybody.
Have you so many people that
you'd like to ask?
I was just going to say, so many people that listen to you. I can't wait.
It's true.
It's
well, we're building it now.
Yeah.
And the more people that hold the vision, that recognize this is coming and focus on that, the more quickly we do it. If we focus on the old collapsed system and say how terrible it is, but just adding energy to it, it'll last longer. If we say, wow, but this is coming in instead of that huge hospital, so impersonal, it's just not good for healing. It's just for healing you need peace. Oh, do you get peace in a hospital? We don't anyway in our country. Mm-hmm. It's bedlam. And so there will be small local healing centres because, of course, we needed allopathic medicine for the past, for the third dimension, because there was so much karma to clear that we needed that stronger stuff to clear it. But that's now going. It's very interesting. It's been drawn to my attention again in the last week. There's an absolute surge of cancer throughout the planet. And most of those people, I won't say every one of them, but most of them are taking on part of the collective negativity. I spoke to somebody this week, I don't know her. Her friend was dying of cancer. She'd been suddenly found, given 3 weeks. And she was very frightened, and so she wanted to know about it. And my guide said she was very highly evolved, that she'd undertaken with the tumours to take over to the other side her personal karma, her family's karma, the genetic karma, and quite a lot of country karma, to take it over to be transmuted. And that was her service work. So that totally cleared her from Earth. And this is what a lot of people are doing now. When they pass over, they're using that as an opportunity to clear out old energy and clear themselves completely. It puts them onto an ascension light pathway.
Well, and this is what when I got your deck and I started playing with it, it's a gorgeous deck.
It's lovely, isn't it?
You're not,
so,
if you're listening and you can't see, it's bright,
oh, you've
colorful.
Yes. What have I got? Community lives here. Yes.
It is a very beautiful deck.
It's very bright and cheerful and vibrant and exciting.
Truly. And every card feels like it is an invitation to learn a little bit more about each piece of the puzzle that you're speaking about. You pull a card and then you get to, there's an invitation to do a little bit of work, whether it's on a certain chakra system or an energetic.
There is.
Yeah. Is that how you would expect people to work with the deck mostly?
You can work with it in several ways. You can actually take it as a course and literally work on one card at a time, and it will step you right through the ascension process to the golden future, which I think is very exciting. Of course, the booklet then explains what each card is about and the guidance that you receive with that card. And of course, it's backed up by the information in the book. Or you can just take a card for that day and work with it. Somebody said to me, I don't know what to do about my business. And I can't understand it. Said I picked a card and I got population. And the message under it was, seize the opportunity. Somebody had offered to buy her business. Seize the opportunity. I said, well, what more do you want? Couldn't have a clearer message.
Right.
Should we just have a card now?
Yes, I'd love that.
I'm just literally seeing, I don't know, which card will we have? Any?
Amazing.
Which one will come out? Clothing. Now that's interesting. It's actually about freedom to express yourself and be true to yourself, be true to your inner. Let your inner express your outer. And it's about wearing whatever is right for you so that you are totally in harmony and integrity with yourself. Yeah, your message is let your inner express your outer. So important. And Daniel, who designed the card, absolutely amazing. The pictures that he came up with were just awesome. Some of them are beyond anything that you can imagine.
Well,
every time he was about
to
send me a new one, I was like waiting in tenterhooks to see what was he going to do this time. Here's the blueprint for fifth dimensional humanity. Remember your gifts and powers. And this is about bringing in your fifth dimensional energy, your 12 strands of DNA, and really activating them now to be who you truly are.
Can I ask a question about your fifth dimensional? When you say fifth dimensional, what do you mean by that? There's probably listeners who are not familiar with the term. And so since this is a deck that will take us through that ascension, I would love to.
Yes. Well, this is all fifth dimensional. The third dimensional is when you're acting for self. And it's just about self-interest. The fourth dimension is when you start to open your heart to other people. The fifth dimension is when you're ready to do things for others, when you are selflessly serving. And of course, there are layers in the fifth dimension. So the first steps in the fifth dimension, you can do certain things. And later on, as your frequency rises through the fifth dimension, you can attract different kinds of abundance into your life. But fifth dimension is about working for the highest good of all.
It is such a beautiful vision for humanity that you hold. I'm really grateful that we have leaders and teachers and authors who are sharing messages like the ones that you share. You're kind of like a spiritual futurist to me.
I just think it's so exciting. I want to share what they keep telling me is being created. And I know that there are hundreds and hundreds of people on the planet that are receiving similar messages about the future. And people are drawn to whichever person is right for them. But to me, it's really, really exciting. And one of the things about these cards is that everything is fifth dimensional. Everything is positive. You've only got to pick up the cards and your frequency automatically rises to the fifth dimension, which is beautiful. Means you don't even have to do anything. You just hold the cards and the energy of them takes you up to a higher frequency. And it's a very good idea to stay in those higher frequencies.
There's definitely a sense when you pick up the deck that there is a transmission included with it. What would you say to people who are listening who are maybe having a little bit of difficulty even believing or understanding the vision? You know, how can we speak to those people?
Well, I think it's quite easy to understand the vision. It's just about explaining that we're moving into a time when we're all doing what we can for each other instead of for ourselves. And that results in an incredible and beautiful way of life. It also results in the universe giving us energies that we're not attracting at the moment. And those energies are enabling us to have clean air, clean water, to have cars that float at high speeds because they're powered freely. See, we can't have free eco-power until the consciousness is ready for it. But as soon as your consciousness is ready to do not just for yourself, but what's the highest good of everybody else, then of course you can have all these amazing things coming into your life. You can have robots, not that aren't AI, but that are there to serve you for the highest good so that you have more leisure. And the golden future, just like Golden Atlantis, is about living in peace and harmony and leisure. And so I notice it's actually very interesting that the 12 strands of DNA are being activated for many people now. And what I've noticed is that I ask my guide, what percentage they are, what percentage mine are. And then if I've had a rest or a holiday, they've done a leap up. And when I'm working, they're static. We have to relax and trust the universe and go with the flow. Then we bring in the 12 strands of DNA, which enable us to express our gifts, who we truly are. It's completely wonderful and amazing.
I mean, we're starting to see evidence of this happening. I see it happening all over the world and online.
Mm.
It is quite beautiful. I mean, for many years, a lot of people who have been in the spiritual circles, there's been talk of an awakening, of a shift, and it's definitely, we are in the midst of it for sure. So
we are, and a very fast and speedy one too. This is why it's so exciting. I know that next month, April, is going to be a very tricky month for the planet. There's going to be a lot happening. And that's apparently it's exactly the same astrological configuration as there was when the peasants in France stormed the Bastille, and the whole of the leadership, the whole of the royal family was deposed. It's exactly the same thing going to happen in a different way, but energetically in the same way. Now, unexpected things are going to take place to push us into another direction, to push us into the golden future that we're expecting. And I think there's going to be a lot more of this. Big unexpected things, huge revelations taking place that enable people to think, hang on, we don't want that anymore. I'm saying we won't have it. I'm not saying it's going to be easy transition. I think it's going to be quite difficult for a lot of people. A lot of courage is going to be called on. But it will happen, and we will get there.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom and the information from your guides with the world. It's so lovely to be able to be that transmission for so many others. And I, for one, am grateful. And for anyone who wants to go deeper with Diana Cooper's work, she has so many different books, but the specific book, The Golden Future, and the deck, the Oracle deck that is accompanied with it, really is a fantastic resource for starting to go into all of the different little bits and pieces of this beautiful work. And you can find that on Hay House, at Hay House Online, or at your local bookstore. Yeah. So thank you so much, Diana, for being with us today.
Bless you.